Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel, Affirmations with Toni Jones. I am doing a post Vipassana video for you all to let you all know what my Vipassana experience was like. There definitely is going to be some things that I share and some things that I won't be sharing because they're so personal or I'm still processing. So here I go. Where do we begin? For those of you who are just joining me and not familiar with who I am and how I show up in the world, I'm Toni Jones. I create affirmation music to help people talk to themselves better. So if you want to learn more, go to my website, TonijonesW.com. Follow me on Instagram at ToniJones. That's Toni with the I. So on May 7th, first of all, you all saw my pre-Vipassana video. And some of you all follow me on Instagram. So you saw my video when I was talking about I'm nervous, just about the experience. And I got to the campgrounds around May 7th and left May 18th. So it was 10, 11 days of meditating for 10 hours a day. This was no retreat, so that's the first thing that we must presence. This was not a meditation retreat. This was a course. So you are learning, you are practicing in real time. It is work. Was it hard? It was not hard for me because the meditation, the sitting was not hard for me. It took me some getting used to because sitting still, like sitting still without moving at all, that took me a little bit of time to get used to. But for the most part, the meditation and sitting was not the hard part. The hard part was not having a pen and paper. Oh, y'all, that ate me alive, okay? I was losing my shit in my room. I was like, I had to, and I'm going to tell you why it was hard. It was hard because I had so many ideas. So many creative, powerful ideas, so many wisdoms, so many downloads, so many songs, so many affirmations. And I had to just sit there and let them come to me and then let them go. Okay? So I had to practice detaching myself from being a woman of wisdom, being a creative, being an artist, being someone who knows how to do affirmations, being powerful. I had to detach from that and allow everything that came to me to be experienced and let it go. That was hard, by far, the hardest thing. I wanted to guerrilla style this video, meaning that I didn't want to write down what my points were going to be because I wanted to be as organic as possible. So I just want you all to be patient with me as I, process my thoughts. I definitely feel like I'm, getting grounded back onto this side of life, but my brain has been slowed down tremendously. And however, I feel advanced. I don't feel like I've had a radical change. I feel like I have been advanced and I have come online. I feel like I have come online. I'm as less emotional as I was. I'm not as emotional as I was when I first came back because I was so you can tell that you're more sensitive. Your sensory has upgraded, and I thought I was sensitive, but this level of sensitivity is extraordinary. It's extraordinary. I'm feeling more sensations and appetite for, picnics and flying a kite. I lost a lot of grandeur, a lot of grandiose, and, valuable, meaningful grandiose grandeur, if you will, like, just aspirations and ambitions and goals. Still have that, but they don't hold as much weight as the present moment, you know. Simple living has always been something. Simple, slow living has always been something that I never wonder why. I never understand why nets, these little flies, have all the world to, fly to, and they figure out a way to just be in your face. And I have to keep touching my computer so it doesn't go to sleep. I got to figure out how to fix that. Will you go and be on Earth, child? And anyways, yeah, simple living and slow living has always been something that I have been passionate about, vocal about. But this is different. This is different. It's a different sensation. It's a different feeling that I feel about how I want to live and how I want to feel in that living, if you will. I did not expect for the food to be amazing. The food slapped. It was incredible. The first 3 days, my expectations were met. Like I said, it wasn't hard to meditate for that long because I was already used to meditation. Meditation had become more of it became a lifestyle for me. So practicing presence and self-awareness was definitely a part of my lifestyle. So I didn't feel disrupted or had to master a discipline. But I will say Vipassana is beyond meditation. It is a practice of self-mastery. And once I thought I knew what I was doing, the days build upon each other. And so I do want to share that once you have an expectation of what the next day is going to be like, it builds on each other, and then you find a rhythm of what this experience is like. But I've never had such a non-spiritual experience ever in my life like this. I didn't expect this to be as practical as it was. I didn't expect this to be such a course-like experience. I thought this was going to be a spiritual experience, but it was it's biochemical. It is neuroscience, it's psychology, it's quantum physics, all wrapped in a technique. And when you learn this technique, there is no unlearning it. Everybody's experience is different. I am aware of that. I definitely believe that however you've been journeying in your life prior to Vipassana is going to determine a lot of your experience. How you sit with yourself now will be challenged. How you've been sitting with yourself for years will be challenged or upgraded, if you will. The way that I feel right now, let me just talk more of the experience before I go into the way that I feel. My experience gave me the ability to connect for hours. Oh God, I feel the tears. For hours and hours and hours. It's said to be roughly 10 hours a day you're meditating. However, it is more like 200 something plus hours you're in this habitat. No writing, no phones, no talking. It's completely silent. You can't talk to anyone. You can't even have a body language of like being polite or hi or thank you. You are in a habitat that is intentionally curated for you to be with yourself, to be with your mind, to be with how you feel for about 11 days. And that gave me a real deep opportunity to connect with the human condition, to really hold space for the human condition. From the alone time in my room, from eating breakfast, from walking, from the the dining area to my room, to being at the pond. They had a beautiful pond. I will talk about that too. To sitting for hours in the meditation hall. And from the course teaching to connect with how miserable humanity is, how miserable this experience is like. You know, you got people dealing with shame, guilt, people whose children have gotten unalived, people who've dealt with abuse all their life, people are dealing with hunger, capitalism, PTSD. I mean, we can go on and on and on about the misery that is in this reality. And you really see it, not only in others, but in yourself. The ability, the prone, like being prone to opt into misery. So many options to being miserable. And then I got to also connect with the unimaginable, the glorious opportunity of love, compassion, empathy, happiness, peace, and bliss. And then I also got to experience a capacity to hold space for both in a what we were taught in this course with an equanimous mind, a pure mind. And you're practicing this connection, this holding space for hours. I don't want to talk about the technique too much, because one of the things you realize, because I've had friends that have done Vipassana. My manager did Vipassana in January, and I had a friend that did it just recently, and I have another friend that has been doing it for the past 10 years. He's done it like 12 times, I believe. And as much as they told me, they did not tell me a thing. And now I know why. When you tell people what the technique, when you tell people these things, you give their brain snapshots of what the experience is like, which puts in their mind an expectation of what the experience is like. Even if one says, "Oh, I'm not going to compare," or "I'm not going to even bring that," I'm just going to be for your brain knows what Toni's experience is like. Your brain knows what this person experienced like. I mean, I'm sure you can Google it, people going into what Vipassana is, but I do not encourage that. Go to Vipassana with pure expectation, with pure expectation that this is going to be your own unique experience. And it feels like the most loving, honorable thing to do without not sharing the technique and all the details of what happened and what it was like. But like I said, this was the most spiritual experience. This was very much science. You are dealing with how you are designed, and you can't unsee that. How the brain is designed, how you're quantumly set up, how the world is set up, and how you interact with that through the mind. Phenomenal. This, hands down, was the most beautiful experience I have ever had since being alive. It was definitely the most intense thing I've ever done. I didn't even know intensity could be felt on such a depth. I definitely feel like every human being that is alive needs this. This is something I would definitely be doing for the rest of my life. Not only will I be doing another 10-day course every year, but I'll also be of service at Vipassana. The Vipassana centers are all fully donated. You cannot make any donations if you have not done a 10-day course. So they don't take any donations from people who have not finished. There are some people who have left the course after the 8th day, the 7th day. You did not complete anything if you did not complete the whole entire 10-day course. And I will say that, and I'll speak to that, to people leaving on the 7th, 8th day. But get out of here. And so, what was I saying? I said the 7th, 8th day, people leaving. But, oh yeah, donations. I was saying that people donate. The only way you can donate is if you've done the 10-day course. They have about 200 plus centers around the world. The one that I went to was in Georgia, and beautiful campus. Like I said, the food slapped so bad. It was so good. Those chocolate brownies, baby, incredible. What else can I say to that? I had a point. It was it's funded by donations only. The people that work there are people who they work for free. They do not get paid, but they live there. And if you want to serve, you can sign up to serve for 3 days, 2 days, the weekend, or serve for an entire 10-day course. I've been told by people who have served before that when you do Vipassana after the 10-day course and then you do a service, like you serve for 10 days, it takes the practice to a whole nother level. Everybody keeps saying that. What else can I say? I had so many downloads, so many wisdoms, and so many insights while I was there. But like I said, because I didn't have a pen and paper, it was so much that came and went. But I walked away feeling so much compassion. I still do. So much empathy for the human experience. so much acceptance for the misery that is here. But I feel so powerful that I have a choice to be one less miserable person. That I have the power to be liberated from all misery on this planet. You know what I'm saying? And so that is powerful to me. I also feel like, again, this has not changed me. This has advanced me. I have definitely felt like not having my phone, not doing any work, not having a pen and paper. You can't bring books, your crystals, your Bibles, your journals, none of that. The technique has to be, it's a pure, it requires pure focus and sharpness of the mind that's only focused on the practice of being with yourself without any gadgets and tools, okay? So the technique is centered around being with yourself, being with misery, being with your mind, being with your whatever is making up of you, and mastering yourself. Self-mastery, baby. Self-mastery. And I definitely feel like I've had a graduation in life that has made me more in tune to my own true self, who I truly am as a vibration, as a sound. You know, one of the things I learned there is that, I won't say I learned there, but just based on science and research, we are not solid beings. The solid world is an illusion. We are made of these tiny particles called atoms. That is something to explore about the self, about the existence. There's something to that helps us navigate our reality. So I won't go into more of that. I will say, though, I have a lot of compassion for those of us who are into wellness and spirituality and consciousness, including myself, being an affirmation artist. Can you guys still see me? Because it's getting dark. I think I'm going to do a part 2. I'm going to do a part 2, probably 30 minutes in this sitting, and then the next one, another 30 minutes. So this will be part 1, okay? But I have a lot of compassion and empathy for those of us who've been on a spiritual path of awakening and consciousness and wellness and all of that, because it becomes an identity. And it becomes an identity, and it becomes a gospel that we preach. And there's still secret misery that lurks in so many. There are people that are teaching and coaching wellness and spirituality, and they're miserable. I was one of them for years. And I've been honest over the years about my past struggles and how I have journeyed my liberation. And I'm thrilled to be on this side of it. Thrilled, grateful. But because I've gotten through so much and been able to get to a place where I am paid to exist, I am paid to be myself, I am favored to be in my being, I can testify that deliverance, liberation, the breaking of chains, the breaking of strongholds, the breaking of human habit to be enslaved to its impulses and cravings and addictions, whether they're mental, emotional, financial, physical, sexual. And affirmation music has taken on, because of what I've experienced in Vipassana and because of where I'm at in my journey, my message in affirmation music continues. However, in addition to that, I want everyone to hear me clearly. Deliverance, liberation, freedom from the madness of identity and existence, the madness that tempts us every day to be in a loop of misery, a loop of fear, a loop of constant struggle with the self, with reality. And I want you to know that affirmations, and specifically affirmation music, is infused with the vibration of the work I've done within myself. It's infused with the laws of how this world works. Music and sound is medicine. Words are incantations and spells. Okay? When we are creating music, one must be careful on what they say, just without the excuse of self-expression. We can no longer use self-expression as, let me reword that. I believe that it's a healthy posture to have as an artist, to be careful with the words that we use when we are creating something that people will listen to over and over and over again. If I go through something and I am talking about a man, or I'm talking about situation, talking about social dynamics, the way I sentence that, the words that I use, that someone will be repeating, multiple people will be repeating over their lives into their aura field, matters. And I personally don't believe in using self-expression as a reason to put anything to music, you know? That is my personal perspective on that. So when I create affirmation music, it is for you to cast over your life words of affirmation that liberate you on a cellular level, liberate you on a neurological level, liberate you on a quantum level, to where habits are broken, strongholds are, you know what I'm saying, destroyed. That's what I intend to do when I create music. Not for spiritual entertainment, not for you to have a positive dopamine response to cope through your life. If that happens, cool, but that's not the intention. Deliverance, liberation, the breaking of chains, to annihilate the spell of being asleep to who you truly are, to who we all are, to what this place is really like, you know? The paradise in it all. One of the things in this course, the teacher talks about true happiness, real peace. There's not a week that doesn't go by where I sit in this house and and I quiet my mind and just get to witness that I want to be alive. I really like this life. It's a miracle to me. And I intend to see how miraculous it can continue to be without attachment, just curious. And so, again, like I said, this is part 1. I'll do a part 2, and I'll have some notes because I need them. I need them. I feel like I have slowed down tremendously. One thing from this experience, where you're not doing what you're normally doing for so long and you have no thing to distract you, it feels like certain brain faculties go offline and other brain faculties come online. And I just feel a lot more sensitive to life, sensitive to like social media. Woo, child. We'll talk about that in the next video, but I have definitely been shifted in my perspective and advanced in the way I see things and feel things. And so I want to leave with this. I'll do a part 2 this week, and I'll post it next weekend. But I will say this, and I won't stop saying it. Run. Run as fast as you can to apply for Vipassana. Every human being needs this. Is it for everybody? No, it's not for everybody. But does everybody need it? Yes. The reason why I say it's not for everybody, because if you have never meditated before, if you've never sat with yourself, if you've never practiced self-awareness or shadow work, I don't encourage it. I don't discourage it. But I'm just letting you know that there's going to be things that come up, may possibly come up for you, or may not. I don't know it all. If anybody who's never done self-development work, will it be hard? Possibly. It ain't no joke. This work ain't no joke. It's intense inner world navigation to master yourself. Yeah, so, but I will continue to say every human being needs it. It's like the way that this technique is, and it's an ancient technique. It's over 2,500 years old, okay? It seems like I won't even say it seems. It is something that is connected to how the laws of this universe work, how reality work, how we work. It is very scientific, okay? And so it's like when you have a plug and an outlet and you put it, just comes on. You can't mystify that. You know what I mean? If you put a plug inside of a pillow, a light is not going to come on. You know what I'm saying? And so to experience a technique that is so result oriented, to where you walk away with something, and if you're doing the technique correctly, you're going to walk away with results that blows your entire mind, literally. You know, you upgrade your mind, you cleanse it, you purify it. Purification of the mind is euphoric, but it's work. So have a well weekend. I love you all so much. And yeah, run. Run to apply, to see where the local Vipassana center, even if it's not local, catch a flight. Okay, this is what humanity needs so much, so much. And I've never been someone that, since I've been in this journey of intentional living, awakening and spirituality, spiritual consciousness, I've tried to avoid, sharing a universal recipe like this is guaranteed to work for you because it worked for me. Like, No, this is something. It's like if you go work out, you're going to get healthier. If you're going, if you're going to be human and be here, you have to drink your water because this is the way you're designed. You see what I'm saying? So this technique is just as practical, just as simple as it is. It's intense because it goes against the human condition to avoid the self, avoid going within. All right, I am complete. It's getting later. The sun, I was trying to do it earlier, but I was just like, I'm just taking my time. I'm taking my time with getting back to this side of life. I affirm you all a gentle way of being with yourselves, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.